Hey guys, so for my fifth question here, I decided to make the video. And mine's a little bit different. We're supposed to envision our school of the future. Mine is going to be based on Sumner Academy. Sumner Academy, I'm going to tear it down and rebuild it. It is currently one of the highest performing test score schools in high schools in the nation, and I want to completely do away with it. I believe that it is a school that is actually detrimental. It's a school in KCK, by the way, that is actually detrimental to the rest of our high schools. And I'm going to kind of go through and explain why. But first of all, I'm going to rename it from Sumner Academy of Arts and Science to Sumner Alternative School. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Now, the physical building, it's going to stay the same. We're not going to pick it up and move it. We're not going to tear it down or anything like that. However, we are going to, like I said, replace it as an alternative school. An alternative school for those kids coming in to the district out of juvenile detention centers, kids that just can't cut it in the regular schools that have multiple discipline infractions or whatever the case may be. It could be anything that their work schedule just doesn't work out, that they have to help, they got to go to work, help pay bills at home. Teen moms, anything of that nature. This is going to be a true alternative school. It's not a punishment. It's not a punitive thing. It is designed for kids who do not fit the traditional model of school. So with that, we are going to accommodate those needs. We are going to split our school day. There's going to be a 7 to 12 and a 12 to 5 portion, morning session and an afternoon session. And within those sessions, there's going to be 4 courses in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. And of those courses, maybe our teachers, you have to pick 6 of those, and one of those hours is the your office hours or something like that. And then if you only teach second hour through 8th hour, then first hour you don't have to show up or something like that. So our teacher schedules are even going to be a little fluid as we kind of go through this. Within those course changes, we're going to revise our graduation requirements. We are going to no longer have the KCK PES standard 24 credits that are required. We're going to move on to the 21 credits, or be based around the 21 credits that are required by the state. We are going to remove those non-mandated electives, non-mandated, whether it's a math class or a music class or home ec or whatever it may be. We're going to remove those. We are going to give our kids the bare bones necessity courses to be successful and get that piece of paper, right? Get their ticket to play the game. And with that, the students are going to have control of their course load. It's going to be very similar to a college where you go in, you speak with your advisor. Here's the classes I want. Here's the classes I need. Here's when they're available. This is the time that I want to take them, so on and so forth. And we're going to allow the students to tailor their course schedule and their time at school to fit their life outside of school. A lot of our students currently, they're working to help pay bills at home. Some of them are even emancipated where they're working to pay their own bills. We have teen moms. We have a huge group of kids who do not fit the traditional, 8 to 3 schedule of school, and we need to do something to help those students. So within that offering of 4 classes each, not semester, but each session, whether the morning or the afternoon, they're only going to need 3 of those to graduate because you only need 21 credits. So if you take 7 semesters, then 7 semesters times 3 classes, boom, you're at your 21 credits. You actually end up graduating a semester early. But what we are anticipating is that because we are an alternative school, we are going to be bringing in kids from traditional schools who are maybe credit deficient and a little bit behind. So that 4th offering that we're allowing for is giving those kids an opportunity to make up that credit that they may have missed at other locations to help them graduate on time and to help them be successful. And then our coursework, all of our coursework is going to be available online, whether that's through Google Classroom or Skyping or whatever the case may be, however each teacher chooses to handle that. We are going to allow that so that we have that fluid learning environment. Yes, kids, we want you in class. We want you to be here. We want you to learn and participate and talk and ask questions and interact with your peers. However, we also get things happen. Teen mom, she's getting up in the morning, getting ready to go take her kid to the babysitter so that she can go to school. And then the babysitter calls in sick. Well, there's nobody else around, so she can't attend school that day. Well, she can also get into the Google Classroom, find the video of the course that day, maybe jump into it live on Skype, and still participate in the discussion while she's got her kid sitting next to her, taking a nap or whatever, watching cartoons or whatever may be going on. It allows for the community that I serve, the students that I serve, it will allow them to live their life while also being academically successful. So the connection to our text here is our focus on grouping. Our grouping is not by cohort, it is not by age, it is by credit, it is by need, it is by what do you need so that you can be successful in getting your graduation, in getting your diploma and graduating high school. Our spacing, we're going to have, traditional, concrete, come to class, do the deal, traditional style of school, but also by having everything available online, by Skyping our classes, by videoing, and posting them later on, we are going to also allow for that fluid movement of class to happen wherever it may need. Think about us right now in this class. That's what we are doing. We are given our coursework at the very beginning. Check these boxes, read these articles, watch these videos, participate in this manner, and then do that and do it as you are able, do it as you see fit, and construct your own learning. Take control of your learning. That's what we preach, that we want these kids to take control of their own learning, but not too much, right? So that's going to be the thing within this alternative school is we are going to turn that learning over to the kids while also being there to help them through it, having that one-on-one connection with the teachers, with the staff as they are able. And then scheduling. Talked about it already that it's going to be fluid. It's going to be the kids, they pick and choose when their classes are going to be, much like you would in college, where you're picking either morning classes, afternoon classes, a mixture of both, online classes, and they are able to schedule their courses so that it works for them and that it works for their life inside and outside of the academic setting. And by doing that, we're going to help set those kids up for success rather than failure. The reason that these kids are in this school is because they need an alternative placement. They need an alternative style of education and just don't fit that traditional mold. So by definition, we have to have all these changes in order for these kids to be successful, in order for us to even anticipate that they would be successful. And the way that this is going to provide for all students, this is going to not just students within the building, not just students at Sumner, but also students at the other surrounding high schools that we're going to be pulling from. So what this is going to do by dissolving Sumner as a magnet school, as this palace of high achieving students, this is going to return those students and their brains and their questions and their ideas back to those other schools. It's going to diversify our classrooms more so than they are currently. It's going to bring those questions into the classroom so that if I'm sitting in class and I have no idea what's going on, and I hear the leader of the class, the smartest kid in the class, or whatever, the highest achieving class member next to me ask some question, it's going to be something that I may not have thought of before, but it's how I help make that connection. We're going to allow the kids to learn from one another more seamlessly than if we had plucked out all of these higher achievers from each of these schools. So with that, we're going to get the peer models. We're going to get the kids who are high average kids. We're going to get them instead of them being the academic leaders of the class. We're going to have somebody for them to kind of chase. We're going to give them the carrot out in front to have them catch up or have them potentially exceed those other students as that model, so that they have someone to look up to academically, to help push them along. Taking a track example, you always run faster when you're against somebody else. So when you're at the top, you don't have anybody to catch up to. So typically right now, because we are removing all of those higher achieving students, our quote unquote average kids, they don't have somebody in front of them to catch up to. So it leaves them complacent. Well, by returning these kids back to the schools, it's going to help increase that pool of knowledge and that collective desire to strive for better. Also, it's going to remove distractions. Typically, kids that don't fit the traditional mold, they have high absenteeism, they are disruptions in the class, and they typically aren't going to be high achievers. They're going to be low achievers. They're going to be the ones that we feel like we're just kind of dragging along, kicking and screaming. Well, by removing those kids and putting them in a situation where they are allowed to be successful, that creates success in both theaters. It creates success not only in the alternative school, but also in the traditional school or the mainstream school, because those distractions are removed, and now everyone can focus on learning in both areas. Whether it's at the Sumner Alternative School or it's at J.C. Harmon High School, they can both classes of kids can now achieve higher than they would have normally or previously. And then the last part here, it's going to provide for the trauma needs. Okay, a lot of the kids that I serve, they have mountains of trauma in their daily lives, and by having this alternative placement, maybe that's a specific class that we add in as a requirement, is a stress relief course, or a stress relief yoga or something, whatever it has to be, whatever the needs of our students are. By having that fluid schedule, by maintaining our requirements at a level that's attainable for these kids, we can specifically target those needs, whether it's stress reduction, study skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, whatever they need, whatever they're missing, we can add that in a little bit more easily than can traditionally be done. So hopefully you liked my idea. Here's my list of references here. Hopefully you like it. I doubt it's something that would ever happen. Sumner High School is kind of the thing that we like to hang our hat on as a district in KCK. However, obviously I'm not a big fan of it. But you never know. You never know until you try. If nothing else, it is at least a discussion starter for what our needs are as a society, as a educational system, and for our students going forward. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my presentation a little bit.